57 is what I think it is.
57, yeah.
Thank you. Hello, welcome to Litchfield Town Recreation Commission special meeting. Today is Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Yes. November 10th. It is 7 p.m. We are meeting in the town hall meeting room. We do not have anyone online, but we do have a WebEx running. Today's meeting is going to be pretty quick. We have 3 items. The first thing we're going to do is a quick roll call. With us tonight, we have my name's Steve Gannon. I am the chairman. Indy Ruggles, vice chair.
Present.
Mike Bosky, member.
Present.
Jeff Town, alternate, but we're going to make Jeff a member for this meeting.
Present.
Mr. Stephen Weber, selectman's rep.
Present.
That gives us a quorum of 5. 3 things that we have to go over. The first one is a quick amendment of the October 26, 2021 meeting minutes to correct the fund allocations correctly. Basically, the Jeff Lane funds were listed as $1,541 and should have been $21,0619. The Litchfield baseball revolving fund was listed as $21,0619 and it should have been $1,541. So we just need to reverse those correctly. Can I have a second?
I'll make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from October 26th.
Okay.
Chairman Gannon, we have Christopher.
Oh, Mr. Christopher Burns is online as well. Thank you, Chris. So it gives us 600. 6. I'm not ready for this tonight. Okay. Made a motion to accept the amendments of the October 26, 2021 meeting minutes. I will second it. Do we have any discussion? All right, we'll do a roll call vote since we have a member virtual. I am an aye. Indy Ruggles.
Aye.
Mr. Mike Bosky.
Aye.
Jeff Town.
Aye.
Stephen Weber.
Aye.
And remote, we have Christopher Burns.
Aye.
Thank you. The second one is the Litchfield Baseball Association purchased an ATV last week, and we've been requested to accept it as a donation so we could cover it under the town's insurance. Make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to donate the ATV from baseball to, or accept the donation from Litchfield Baseball to the Recreation Department.
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a second by Mr. Weber. Any discussion?
I missed the whole discussion about the other day. Do we know where it's being housed?
The ATV.
It's at
Yes.
Jeff Lane.
It's at Jeff
Oh,
Lane.
it's going to be at Jeff Lane. Okay.
Yeah, so there'll be one at,
There's one over at Dara
And
and
then
there's
there's-
one at Jeff Lane.
so then they won't have to transport it between the 2. Any other discussion? All right, we'll do a roll call vote. I am an aye. Mr. Ruggles.
Aye.
Mr. Bosky.
Aye.
Mr. Town.
Aye.
Mr. Weber.
Aye.
Mr. Burns.
Aye.
Motion carries 600. All right, the final one is the 2022 Athletics Field and Health Maintenance Program and mowing and trimming of other recreational fields. The Litchfield Recreation Commission solicited bids this year due to the lack of responses from previous years using the normal RFP process. As instructed in the RFP documentation, all bids were to be sealed and delivered to Town Hall no later than noontime today, October 10th, 2021, to be considered. Bids that came in after the first one was opened could not be considered. I was at Town Hall at noontime today, and we only had one sealed bid. So it was one sealed bid according to the RFP process. I had them copy it and send it around. Actually, we should probably make a motion, then we'll go into discussion, right?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to accept the bid from Alliance Landscaping.
I'll second.
Thank you. All right, so discussion. I was there today to open the bid. That was the only bid that we got during that time frame. The gentleman from Alliance was there as well. I had a discussion with him. He is actually a Litchfield resident. He's very familiar with the fields. His kids play on the field, so he did manage to take a tour of the fields. So they're in great shape, and I think they'll do a very good job. They've been around town for a long time. They do a lot of the 55 plus developments. I think he said they do over 1 million acres of land or maintenance each year. The only one caveat that we had to change, Mr. Jeff Town pointed out that they left off Scott Innisfield as part of the maintenance contract. The RFP did have it listed. We just didn't have it on its own line. So it was easy to be confused. I contacted the gentleman and he said they will honor the bid as is, including Scott Innisfield into it. We will request to have them rewrite the contract so that Scott Innisfield is clearly stated. And that'll be submitted before it goes to the Board of Selectmen or Budget Committee to have sign off. There is two. He did break the contract out. The first one was for a sum of $72,996. The second one, which is the mowing and trimming of other recreational fields and properties, was for the sum of $12,005. If we combine the two, they will give us a 2% discount, which is $1,700.02, bringing the total for the maintenance to $83,398. We have any more discussion on this? Hearing none.
Does anybody know why Natticook didn't submit anything this year?
I do not know.
I'm not sure.
I did not reach out to him strictly because it would be a conflict of interest, I believe, in my situation.
They were notified, I presume.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Or
So they did submit or solicit 6 vendors and actually 7 vendors because I made sure that Natticook was listed as well.
It's interesting that the only part is Innis wasn't part of the first bid, but it was included in the second bid. So I
Yes,
think it must have been just an oversight.
he noted that too. He called that out.
Yeah. The other thing is that, and I don't know if this is just part of the bid process or whatever. So there's 2 different things. There's one is, so the agreement's based on November 5th, which I don't know if is made. I mean, I don't know if we need that date change or that's just minutia that doesn't matter. The other thing, the term of the agreement commences on April 1st and ends on November 30th. We've been doing the contracts for all the other years have been the whole year.
Yeah, January
Because-
1st through the
Mhm.
31st.
Because honestly, you never know when the fields may first become available or may still need, don't get me wrong.
All
November
depends on how
30th
the
is late,
winter
but-
goes.
Right,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean? Should the dates be the whole year, not just April to November?
January 1 to December 31st.
Right.
They might not do anything for the first 3 months of the calendar year, but
Right, you know what I mean?
Or the last 2.
yeah.
Yeah, I did notice that as well. I thought it was out of common, but I don't know if that's just practice in this industry.
Do we know what the dates were in last year's?
It was the whole year.
Was
It
the
was
whole
all
year?
Yeah. Yeah, the RFP clearly states January 1st through the December 31st. Is that something that we have to
Well, if you're going to amend it anyways to get Innisfield in there, you
Yeah.
could ask them to amend the dates.
amend the dates? Okay.
I mean, chances are it's really not going to make a whole lot of a difference, but it probably should be for the whole year.
Yeah, just to be safe. And it would also, if they decide if they can get out there earlier, allow them to get out there earlier and be covered or stay later. Anybody else had any other discussions on their offering?
Parker Park is under our jurisdiction. Is there any maintenance required there, similar to the river access? I don't know if anybody does anything there, or at Moores Falls. I guess Moores Falls is
Was
managed
Falls
by
is conservation.
Conservation,
Parker is us. The only thing there, I think, is mowing around the parking lot.
right?
Does
I
anybody
think
do
highway
that?
might.
Highway might do it for us.
Yeah, I think the highway was doing it. We really
Okay.
Clarified where Parker Park lands last year when we started talking about the fishing derby. We were all believed that it was part of conservation. And then as we dug into it, it was truly said it would be utilized for recreational purposes. So we have not had anybody or included it in any contracts because we're mid-contract last year when we realized it was ours.
Okay. Yeah, the highway department takes care of it. There's not much
I
there.
think back in history, I
It's
think there were
fine.
some local residents that would go over and mow it every so often.
That sounds right.
Yeah. A couple down the street, one across the street would go down and take care of it when it got overgrown. But I think this year highway department's gone down and taken care of it a couple times.
It is something maybe next year we decide to include if need be. It is fairly small, but it is something that should be maintained if it's under our jurisdiction.
Yeah, well, if we go in for the, with conservation, the mower, I can't even think of it now. There's probably other things we'll have to modify between, for next year's as well, so that we're not like, paying for something that we can do ourselves.
I would agree with that.
So the term of the contract in the RFP goes until November of 2023. So his proposal is for 2 years. The RFP said 1 to 3. Given the nature of pricing for materials this year, does it make sense to go for a 1-year contract this year and see if the world settles down a little bit?
Did we have it listed to November 2023?
Yeah, I think we should go for one just because
Yeah.
we don't know the individual's work. I mean, we
Yeah,
do
absolutely. Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that's what we did with the
It's
last
a-
contract. We did a 1-year deal and then we did a 1-year deal again.
Yeah, there's an option for 3.
Yep.
Oh, very good, Jeff. I didn't see that date. Yeah, in the past, typically what we've done is a 1 to 3 year contract. If there's no issues, we could offer them the extension to 3. So it would be the 3 things that we need to change is make sure Innisfield is included. The time would be from January 1st to December 31st, 2022. And then next year, if everything seems to be adequate, then we could offer them the extension
1 year with the option to extend.
to 3. Yeah.
Yeah, the prices might be better.
I don't know.
Hopefully.
Like,
Yeah.
are we gambling the wrong way on the prices being better?
That's another part too.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
The world is in a very strange state right now. I
Mhm.
expect it will.
Knowing the gentleman that
More
gave us
likely
the
to-
bid is a resident and he was familiar with the fields, it was very reassuring that we didn't have a company coming from the outside and just giving us a quick, this gentleman walked all the fields. He said, as you mentioned, Innis, it's like, I didn't understand why the field wasn't included, but brush hogging around the fence was.
Right.
And that's when I looked at the RFP and realized. So he's very attentive to detail and being resident. He talked about playing at the tournament last weekend with his kids. So
Yep.
he's very familiar with the area, which is reassuring, as was our last contractor. All right. Any other?
so the question is, are we gonna just do 1 year then? Is that really gonna have preference at this point?
Yeah, I think we should.
I think so.
Yeah, and at the end of the year, we can evaluate and offer the extension.
So going forward, we should probably rewrite our RFP to say a 1 year initial contract with a
That's
3 year.
that's what it says.
Is it? Did it say potential?
That says it 1 to 3 years
So what
is
this-
in the RFP.
Okay. Yeah. So break that down a little bit more.
So, I'm sorry, can you just refresh my memory? I couldn't quite hear you, Andy, what the motion was actually for. Was it for everything, both offerings, or just the maintenance?
It was both offerings.
Both offerings? If we end up getting the tractor with the Conservation Commission, when would that happen? And would we be able to do this stuff ourselves next year?
Pay for half the tractor.
Yes, it would. If we were to pursue purchasing it, we'll probably get it in the spring. This is something that, as our commission, we could probably take on, but then we get into a discussion I've actually had with Andy recently is we are a volunteer board and we're all busy. How much time do we want to spend cutting the fields and mowing the grass? And I don't know what it'll take. It might be something that maybe we work into, maybe next year we can consider removing this, and I don't know what it'll actually take to maintain to that level. Would you agree?
But yeah, I mean, that's my biggest thing is like, well, who's responsible for it? But say I'm busy for a month because of baseball or whatever, and then all of a sudden the grass becomes really long around the fields, and and then it falls on one person or whatever. Whereas this is a contracted item. It's
Along those lines, Chris, some of the conversations I had with contractors, a lot of them were not interested in that portion of it. They'd rather maintain the fields, cut the nice grass, be busy with that, and not beat their equipment on brush hogging or, down by John Bryant and behind the fences. And a lot of it is if you can't get out there with a small brush hog, you got to do it by hand. So now that's very labor intensive. This gentleman did not have a problem with that, but it is something maybe next year that we could decide to take it out if we feel. Honestly, we're at the point now at this cost, we could probably start considering bringing it in-house and hiring someone as a summer intern to deal with this. Not a summer intern or summer employee.
Yeah, I don't know how much of the cost is in the chemicals this year. If that's
Right.
hiring
I
somebody
think
is
that's
not
what a
going to
lot
fix
of the
that.
cost went up.
from what I understand, it's it's a 30+% increase in costs.
Yeah.
Right there. So
Yeah.
that's where you're getting your big numbers.
Yep.
And the fields
Yeah.
look so good now that I would hate to jeopardize them and drop them back to subpar conditions.
Yeah, they look fantastic.
Yeah, I think once we have the tractor next year, we ought to consider if we can, either hire somebody or do some of that ourselves. So especially half of the things are just twice a year.
Right.
That's the kind of
Exactly,
thing that we
yeah.
could probably do if we had a tractor. It would be, why are we getting a tractor if we're not going to use it?
I completely agree.
So I think if we get one in the spring/summer, we get some little use behind it, know what we can do with it, get
Yep.
used to it, and then next
For
year.
next year, we can commit to.
Yeah, because I think next year
Saving
there'll be a
that
lot of cleanup. It'll be used a lot for cleanup, and it'll be occupied doing that kind of stuff. But then maybe the year after, when, as you said, we'll be more familiar with
Yep.
it, we could pick up more implementations and consider brush hogging it and et cetera.
Yeah, if we get a brush hog on the front end, that would pay
Any,
for itself.
any more discussion? Hearing none. All right. So we go
So
for
is the motion on the floor is to accept it with those three amendments to the proposal, including Innis,
Yep.
changing the term to 1 year and the contract from January to December.
correct.
Okay.
And that's something I will speak to the gentleman about. I don't think he'll have an issue with it. And then it won't impact the contract at all. So it's just specifying dates. And then if he agrees with it, he will resubmit the quote to the town, including those changes. The prices will not change or should not change. The prices do change, and we're going to stop back at the beginning and reject the offer.
Yeah. So we can vote on accepting the proposal subject to those changes.
Yep. Yep. So the motion is to award the 2022 athletics field health and maintenance program to Alliance Landscaping for the sum of $72,996. Award the 2022 mowing and trimming of other recreational fields and properties to Alliance Landscaping for the sum of $12,005. Combining the two, they will offer us a 2% discount for a total of $83,398, with the caveats being Scott Innisfield get added for the maintenance contract. The dates go from January 1st to December 31st, and the initial contract will be for 1 year with a 3-year extension available afterwards.
A 2-year extension or 3 years?
We could do 2 or 3. I think it says 3.
It says a total of 3, so it'd be
Yeah,
Total of
it'll
3.
be a 2-year, 1 or 2
2-year
years.
extension.
2 years. All right. So roll call vote. I'm an aye. Andy Ruggles,
Aye.
Mr. Mike Bosky,
Aye.
Mr. Jeff Town,
Aye.
Mr. Steve Weber,
Aye.
Mr. Christopher Burns.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0-0. Thank you. And that's all we have for tonight.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Thank you. We have to do another roll call vote. I'm an aye.
Aye.
Bosky,
Aye.
Burns,
Aye.
Mr. Jeff Town,
Aye.
Mr. Weber.
Aye.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
All those in favor, please stand.